Hi, I'm Patty.
And I'm Dr. Dina Adams.
We're ambassadors for Hope After Brain Injury, based in Dallas-Fort Worth. Come along with us as we dive into fatigue and depression after brain injury. Dina, talk with us about what you've learned from clients, people you've met, research you've done.
Well, if you think about a brain injury and recovering from a brain injury, it takes a whole lot of energy for your brain to kind of rewire itself. And did you know that we're born with millions of extra brain cells?
Thankfully.
And so those are in play when you have an injury. Because of that, though, the fatigue sets in. Anything that's cognitive, physical, fatigue is a big part of the brain injury recovery. And you'll even notice as family and friends, your loved one that had the injury sleeps a lot. And so it's not about it being tired like a normal person like me that hasn't had a brain injury. It's not that kind of tired. It's a lot deeper kind of fatigue. I had one survivor actually tell me, she said, it's like I'm walking through cooked oatmeal. Everything just seems so hard. And they have to be intentional. So fatigue is, unfortunately, comes hand in hand with brain injury. But the good news is if you allow yourself to rest, fatigue is the one thing, if you can control your fatigue, you actually can reduce the deficits of everything else. So fatigue is super important for us to be able to talk about today.
Amazing, what an impact it plays on our journey.
Yes.
Because in brain injury, I have found that it throws off your system. In other words, I say it like this: brain injury is consistently inconsistent.
Yes, yes.
As that fatigue comes on, everything immediately starts to shut down.
Yes.
And then you have to fight against anything pulling against you to persevere, go through that adversity, and not to give up. And then that's where, when you get so exhausted, fatigued, that's where the depression comes in from brain injury. It's completely different than a non-head injury person dealing with depression or fatigue.
Yes.
The perspective change.
Yes.
Talk with us about that.
Well, depression, sadly, is one of those things that, again, comes hand in hand with brain injury. There is a positive part of depression, though, when it is part of your recovery. So if you think about it, when you had a brain injury and your memory's kind of wiped clean, as you recover, you start remembering who you used to be. And so the depression associated with grieving, like, I want to do this, but I can't do it anymore, sometimes that is a sign of recovery. But when depression goes on for days and weeks, where you don't have your energy level, you don't feel happy about anything, you feel hopeless and helpless, and that's consistent, I want to encourage our viewers to seek help from a therapist, a counselor that can help. Because depression, depending on the research you read again, it can be up to 80% of the survivors can be part of their natural life then. But there's ways that you can cope with it.
What are some of those ways?
Well, I think, Patty, you have done a great job of recognizing when that fatigue and depression come together. You know, as normal people, we think, well, we need to push ourselves, to do better. But in the brain injury world, that's not the case. If you push yourself to do better, you make more mistakes, you fall more, you get more frustrated. So if you feel like you're at the point where you just need to rest, honor yourself and do it. And just like Patty, you've mentioned, your best times are in the morning, aren't they?
Definitely. Morning times are much better for me, and being alert or aware or awake or helping with my balance, my equilibrium, thinking, making decisions, judgment, everything's involved in that morning time that's a wee bit more clear. For instance, for me, By the time I reach 12 noon in a day, that's very much like 5 o'clock in the afternoon for most working people. That's the end of my day. Anything beyond there, I'm pressing, I'm pushing. And that requires incredible brain cells.
Absolutely.
As you talked about how God gave us like 3 million spare brain cells, which incredibly help us for resiliency, something we said earlier in our program.
Yes.
Because when the brain injury comes on, it's taken away so much of the thinking skill, the processing skill. Then you have the short-term memory. Then you have bits and pieces from the long-term memory that aren't there. There's no pattern.
No.
There's no rhythm. There's no regularity. Sleeping.
Exactly.
One never knows when I'll sleep, when I'll wake up. And so helping for me, sometimes reading, I'll try to read. Often that will put me to sleep.
Okay.
I will try to journal, and that helps me to vent, to get things out of my mind or off my shoulders, or things that are weighing me down with anxiety, which leads to fatigue.
Yes.
So there are so many things that will go against us that we simply have to choose to face or rest,
Yes.
take a break from, distance ourselves. Even through that reminds me, Dr. Adams, Dina, how persevere through adversity has become very big to me.
Yes.
And even through that, of learning how to thrive
Yes.
through adversity, to learn from the difficulties. Maybe it's something I need to change, do differently, pay attention more to. Because now, since everything happened, I'm very attentive to my nonverbals, to my body, because such a change has come from the brain injury. Because when you look at me on the outside, they say, "Oh, you look like the old Patty."
Yeah.
And I very much do. And I still have happiness about me. And I know that's only from God.
Yes.
I know that's from my personal relationship with God through Jesus. I'm aware of that.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful that He helps me to choose to go that direction. Because very much like you and I have talked, life is about choices.
True.
Talk with us about choices when it comes to coping with the effects of fatigue and depression after brain injury has entered our world.
Choice is very important, and I think it's wonderful for you to kind of think, you know what, I have a brand new start here. And what I want to do is I want to choose to make a difference, as you say so wonderfully, make a difference now, because you never know how many days you have left or the quality of those days. You have to choose how you want to do that day. And choosing how to do your recovery is just as important. So kind of look at your own life and what's helped you, and loved ones, look at yourself as a caretaker. Please take care of you. Fatigue is so important, and you get tired and you get burned out. So I think making a choice to take care of yourself is very important. And also realizing that brain injury, if you've seen one brain injury, you've only seen one brain injury. Every one of them is different, Patty. But one of the commonalities is the sleep patterns change. And so just paying attention when is best for you to sleep, and also realize that sometimes you may wake up and don't feel rested at all. So when you know you're going into your day that way, pace yourself. And make your choice, make your decisions on pace, and let me add grace. Be kind to yourself.
I very much say, have mercy on yourself.
That's good.
Grant yourself mercy. Whatever that means to you, but be safe. And take a break. Walk in the park, or whatever you need, but have mercy on yourself, because things have changed. That's one thing that I have great difficulty with, because I remember before the crash, I was a very vivacious person, full of life, able to multitask and do all of those things and to enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Now, however, it's incredibly difficult. It requires so much. It sucks so much of my brain injury fuel out of my brain fuel tank. And I burn rubber trying to remember and do. But I go out of my way to pay attention, to concentrate,
Yes.
to think, a word some people don't like. Because I have to think, that my life requires thinking. In everything I do, whether it's changing, brushing my teeth, taking the next step,
Yes.
what we will say, interaction, even during these filmings. It's incredible work. You can imagine, because many of you watching and listening are dealing with brain injury, or you know friends who have dealt with it, or you're in the midst of it. Maybe you're in crisis mode right now, not knowing what to do,
Yes.
what to expect.
Yes.
Dina, what do you say to that?
I want to say bless you. I think that when we suffer and we have a brain injury, we feel like we're in crisis, and the truth is you are.
Big time.
But crisis is opportunity coming together with danger. So you have an opportunity. Just like you mentioned, Patty, share with them the verse Genesis 50.
For you who know anything about Scripture, Genesis chapter 50, verse 20 talks about bad things happening, but God using them for good.
Yeah.
It's very much like for me, because my faith was real before, but since I tasted death, my perspective goes deeper.
Yeah.
My reason for living and doing what I do. That's why when I talk about faith, I mean it.
Yes.
I've tasted it. I've died. I've learned to live again. It's real to me. I so encourage you, please, take time, sometime, night or day, drop by my website, pattyfoster.com. You'll see them at the bottom of the screen when we wrap up. Also, hopeafterbraininjury.org. Some incredible stories of hope, a reason to keep believing. Don't quit, don't stop, try again. Because just like Dr. Adams said, Dina, is that those tough times are opportunities to work together. We need each other.
Yes.
We can learn from each other. We can help each other.
Yes.
And those are moments to lay hold of. Lean into those moments. Live those moments. While you have this moment, may you choose to live it more fully. If you need help, ask for it.
Absolutely.
Ask for it. Request it. It's worth it. Go out of your way to, as my motto says,
Yes.
that Dina referred to, since learning to live again after the crash and waking from the coma, MAD now, M-A-D now, make a difference now.
Yes.
Because we don't know how many moments, hours we have left, nor do we know the quality of that time, just like she said. So may we choose, again, it's coming back to choices. Hope can come from those choices to make a difference now. I encourage you, I urge you.
And may we offer to you an opportunity to come speak to you, to come to your country, your state, your community, your organization, your church, whatever it is, we want to be available to you.
Yes, just touch base with our website. As I said again, they're at the bottom of the screen, hopeafterbraininjury.org or pattyfoster.com. We would love to connect with you. And the books are available on pattyfoster.com as well that have made a difference, impact, to give people hope, to keep trying, to persevere, to not give up, and to take that next step. A few of the books as we wrap up: Coping with Traumatic Brain Injury, One Woman's Journey from Death to Life. Also, one that I wrote a few years ago,
which I love. It's called Hope for the Journey. It's a 52-week devotional that's TBI friendly, but good for anyone going through adversity. one devotional per week, and then 5 questions, one for each day. You get the weekend off.
Yeah.
And you have another wonderful resource called Chicken Soup for the Soul, Recovering from Traumatic Brain Injuries. And Patty's story was featured, I believe you're 101 or 99.
99, you're on.
Yes. So please take advantage of those opportunities. And you also have some of those books in audio format and ebook format. So check out the website and you'll be able to grab those.
Nice. Hope you'll visit us, touch base with us, contact, tell us your story, ask us a question.
Yes.
Those websites will help bring you hope.